following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee.
Let me say something else, too, about Mo Patton. Mo has done it all. I mean, he's covered the Titans. He's covered the Vols. He's done high school. He's a fantastic writer. He's now actually hosting a talk show every day in Columbia that is outstanding.
It's fair to Auburn, but it's tough when the punishments are not so even-handed across the board. You know,
you're not telling me anything else.
I mean, some people get their hands slapped and some get their teeth knocked out, you know. And
Will Wade's still coaching. David Culley, for all the positives, he's talking a lot of trash. I don't think any of it has to do with the Culley-Cunningham relationship, but Zach Cunningham hasn't been happy.
I think I think David Culley is kind of carrying the Texans front office's water on this deal. And, you know, part of it is I finally got to be a head coach. Damn if I'm going to piss these folks off.
Exactly.
So
sometimes you got to just toe the company line.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm going to do on this Reaction Monday. Toe the company line and tell you excitedly that this is Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Hope you had a great weekend. Here's the Hall of Famer Mo Patton and the Sundrop Kid from Alabama, Chris Yao.
I got my Alabama drink with me today, JP. A little Grapico action.
There we go.
You know, it's the only.
All right, that'll work.
You've been to Mount Pleasant?
Literally, no. It's actually I got it at the fast fuel. I just found it.
It's a little closer.
Yeah, I mean, this is the best thing to come. I'm the second best thing to ever come to Alabama.
Wow,
and that's
right
the
next
best.
to Grapico.
Oh, wow.
Hopefully, my wife isn't listening. It is Reaction Monday, and it's probably going to be a bad reaction if she heard that, but it's okay. Fellas, how are we? What's going on? I like that. The music in the beginning of that is kind of groovy. I was like, all right, yeah.
Well, that's how, with Mike Keith talking about Mo. I mean, that's Mo. He's a groovy kind of fella. You ever been called a groovy kind of fellow?
I don't know that I have.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Just throw the peace signs.
It's this way though, not the deuces.
But you're a groovy sort of fella, and that just seemed to fit. And and then a little holiday vibe with the other musical selection.
If anybody ever talks about me,
all of this comes down to JP having too much time on his hands.
I wish I had too much time.
Time on my hands.
I wish that were the case.
If anybody ever talks about me like that, JP's going to play banjos.
Keep paddling.
Nailed it.
Yeah, just wait. I got another one for hour 2 open. So
it's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited to hear this stuff, man. Yeah. Boy, do we have a good show for you. Reaction Monday is always fun when the Titans win. So there's that. We will get some Titans reaction. We've got a lot of college football. Ironically, with no college football being played, there's a lot of college football to talk about. So we're going to do that. And we just left a junior college basketball game, Mo, so we may talk a little about that one as well.
Probably should.
Yeah. No reason not to. Tons to get to. Gonna be a great day. Boy, what a weekend it was in the world of sports. So let's get into it as quickly as we can. Before we do that, we have to give you the results from the weekend and today's schedule on The Rundown.
This is The Rundown.
Let's do it.
The Monday Rundown is brought to you by Zion Christian Academy, providing a Christ-centered college prep education at an affordable cost. Call 931-388-5731 or visit zioneagles.org to schedule an appointment for a tour today.
In girls basketball action on Friday night, Lawrence County edged visiting Columbia Central 53-48. It was Page 73, Independence 34. Fayetteville defeated Culleoka 41-22. It was Loretto defeating Collinwood 67-26. Santa Fe with a 62-48 win at Mount Pleasant. Summertown defeated East Hickman 44-23, and Hampshire with a 60-39 win over Zion Christian.
In boys action, it was Summit, an 86-63 win over Rockville. Columbia Central takes care of business down in Lawrence County, 96-54. Independence, a 5-point win over Page, 66-61. Fayetteville down Culleoka, 65-40. It was Loretto, 78. Collinwood, 45. Santa Fe downs Mount Pleasant, 64-40. Summertown, a 77-53 winner over East Hickman. And Zion Christian with a 54-35 win over Hampshire.
On Saturday, in girls basketball action, East Robertson defeated Santa Fe 76-51. It was Columbia Academy going on the road and picking up a 68-31 win over University School of Nashville. In boys action, USN defeated Columbia Academy 59-51, and East Robertson with a 39.6 three-pointer performance from Ole Miss football commit Taylor Groves defeats host Santa Fe 64-58.
On Friday, the Preds down the Devils in NHL action 3-2, and then get a great performance from UC Soros and a 1-0 win over the Rangers. On Sunday, Titans shut out the Jags 20-0 on Sunday as well. So shutout Sunday it was. In NBA action, the Grizzlies down the Rockets 113-106. And today in JUCO hoops, it was Columbia State 88, SEMO Prep 62.
High school basketball action tonight. Culleoka travels to Riverside Christian. Mount Pleasant goes on the road, plays at Wayne County. Santa Fe travels to Marshall County, and Summertown plays at Fayetteville. All of those are double headers beginning at 6 o'clock with girls action. At 7 o'clock at FedEx Forum, the Memphis Grizzlies take on visiting Philadelphia. That game will be televised via Bally Sports. And in the NFL, Monday Night Football, the Rams are at the Cardinals. 7:15 start on ESPN.
That's going to do it for your Monday Rundown. All right. So first things first, let's talk about the hardware. Heisman Trophy handed out Saturday night. The winner by a fairly large margin was Alabama quarterback Bryson Young, who becomes the fourth Alabama player in the tenure of Nick Saban to win the Heisman Trophy. No player before Mark Ingram had won the Heisman Trophy from the University of Alabama, and now they've had four. So that's crazy.
And he's the first quarterback?
He is the first quarterback to have won it. The closest they came before that was A.J. McCarron, who finished second in like 15 or 16, whatever that was. So.
And it was so anticlimactic that I guess you could have invited Bryce Young and nobody else. Huh?
Probably. I mean, and maybe that's why they didn't. Yeah, obviously Will Anderson finished fifth, but he had the third most first place votes of anybody. But Aiden Hutchinson had a ton of second place votes, which is how
he was firmly
the
second place finisher. Huh?
Yeah, just like Bryce was pretty well the winner. So not a lot to get to there. I mean, Bryce Young, impressive season he's had. It's amazing to me that Alabama had a Heisman Trophy winning wide receiver last year and a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback this year, and they didn't even play with each other, like at all. It's nuts.
I mean, when you hear the phrase in sports, they don't rebuild, they reload. And I'm just not sure that anybody personifies that quite like Alabama.
It's impressive. Everything that they've done is just impressive.
Trust the process.
And what's so insane to me is they are where they are because of two coaches' wives. I mean, the coaches in reality had as little to do with where Alabama is today than the wives did. Rich Rod's wife saying, "Oh no,
Mm-mm.
we're not going to Alabama," and then Miss Terry saying,
We're not staying in Miami.
Yeah, we're not staying in Miami, so you better figure it out. And here we are.
There you go.
Thanks, Miss Terry. You know, this guy over here to the right behind Coach Bryant, that's Mal Moore's earpiece. That guy. It's his fault.
The earpiece.
Yeah.
I like that.
The portaphones. I wonder if Tullahoma's going to get new portaphones. Remember we were talking about that? now that Coach Olive's gone, they can get rid of the portaphones that he brought with him his first year at Tullahoma, apparently.
29 years ago. Yeah.
They look kind of like those.
Wow.
Oh man. Anyway, so yeah, congrats to Bryce. What can you say? Great athlete, and proved it in every game, even the Alabama game. I mean, or the Auburn game. He, didn't have a great game, but when it mattered, he was perfect.
It'll be interesting to see what the Heisman Trophy winner looks like in the postseason. Yeah,
I'm not sure. I mean, obviously, I feel like it's going to be a couple of tough defenses. Anyway, did you watch Army Navy at all?
I did not.
I didn't watch much of it, but I did see the fake punt on a highlight. And if you watch the highlight, did you see it? Have you seen this? You're going to love this. I love that I'm giving you this information because it's phenomenal. All right. So Navy has the lead and they need to run the clock out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's really what they're trying to do here. The center snaps the ball to the up back. The up back.
Okay, the up back did not realize that the snap was coming to him. I saw something about that.
He catches it and he's like, oh, okay. So he just takes off running, gets the first down, has to fight for it. It wasn't the up back that didn't know it was coming.
Was the punter that didn't?
It was everybody.
Oh.
So
the center decided to run a fake punt.
The center thought he heard the call for a fake punt and snapped it to the up back. Nobody called the fake punt. The only person who thought there was a fake punt was the center.
Well, he's the only guy that mattered, I guess.
I mean, as long as it was caught and they got the first down.
Good Lord.
It was wild, man.
I wonder what Ken Numatalolo's reaction was to that one.
It worked, so I guess whatever.
And so they were able to go ahead and run the clock out.
They were able to run the clock out, like 9-minute drive because of that. So, and finally, and we'll get to this a little bit later in detail, but Oregon has its coach, and it appears the Power 5 coaching carousel, as far as head coaches go, is closed. There are some open jobs, but I don't think Duke or Temple.
Duke is no longer open.
That's right. Duke has. I don't guess Temple.
I think Temple is the last man standing.
Who
the last chair to be filled.
They're not going to be poaching another Power 5 coach.
No.
So
I think everybody's pretty well entrenched.
I think the carousel is finally closed
on December 13th.
Just before.
Of course, it started what? Labor Day?
Yeah. Yeah, when UConn, when they fired Edsel. He was the first one. And from there, it just was dominoes.
Now was he before Clay Helton?
Yeah, he was the first. And then Helton came in like 2 or 3 weeks later. But Edsel was like in week 2.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll get to plenty of college football later in the show. Got Titans as well. But when we come back, we went to some high school games over the weekend, including JP. So looking forward to talking about those games and today's Columbia State game. So stick around with us on Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. We'll be right back right after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Festop Markets is a full-service, family-owned convenience store chain located in 14 locations throughout Middle and West Tennessee. For those in our listening area, you can find them in Columbia, Centerville, Lawrenceburg, Spring Hill, Dixon, and White Bluff.
Festop partners with wholesale fuel brands like Shell, Marathon, and Exxon, delivering a consistent customer experience that is fast, friendly, and clean. If it's not already, it will soon become your go-to store to shop in town or on the road. Festop Markets is proud to be keeping you moving in Tennessee.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ned Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Local sports talk you'll only find here. It's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Live from the Lee Company studio with the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's Chris Yao.
Welcome back in Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Got a really intriguing show here on Reaction Monday because we get to talk about local high school sports, which is one of our favorite things to do. We get a chance to react to some hoops from over the weekend and earlier today. So looking forward to it. Mo, I didn't ask you earlier, but how was your weekend? Anything exciting?
No, not at all. I mean, it was, but I mean, that's not a bad thing. I kind of like just kind of being a couch potato. I was supposed to do some officiating on Saturday, but the weather that we had overnight Friday night / Saturday morning resulted in some power outages in Williamson County, and one of those was at the gym that I was supposed to have been at. So no power, no games. So
Yeah,
which was a little unfortunate 2 weeks before Christmas.
It would have
Could have
been.
used that.
Well, I could have used you. I went 9 to 5, 8 ball games on
That's a you problem.
at least semi-sprained ankle. So I had to.
So did you just kind of do a lazy Susan thing? Did you just post up at midcourt and
In turn,
let them run by you?
No, I wouldn't do my partners that way. But yeah, it was tough. It was not easy, and I can tell you when I got home, I was feeling it. Luckily, we have a Whirlpool tub at the house, so
and you took advantage. Huh?
I took full advantage. Yeah.
There you go.
On Friday, we were able to get some games in because the weather, luckily, did not affect us nearly as bad as it did other parts of this state and our neighbors to the west and north. And our thoughts and prayers are with those who are still looking for answers, searching, and dealing with the disaster that apparently was the strongest tornado in recorded history. Yeah.
And the longest
single
to touchdown, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or touchdown for the longest, or however you would phrase it.
It was the longest time
on the ground
of any tornado in history, which that's just, I mean, I was obviously very close by the April 27th tornado that hit Tuscaloosa. So I understand what a lot of these folks are going through, and we were fortunate enough then to have been passed over, and this time as well. So again, thoughts go out to those affected by the tornadoes. And if you are able to give blood, please do. Giving blood, I think there's blood mobiles all around the state right now, including right here in Murray County. So definitely do that if you can. I don't have, let's see. I don't have any details on where and when specifically, but I do think that there's a donor center at Neely's Mill here in Columbia. So Friday night we were able to get some games. I was at Fayetteville Culleoka. JP was down home where they know him by name and treat him like family.
It's because he is.
That's right.
Yeah. And I'm curious, JP, you know, 96 to 54, it sounds like that Nick Campbell didn't call the dogs off.
Yeah, he did. It like a minute to go, a minute into the fourth quarter.
Wow.
Is when he made his substitutions. His subs extended the lead on the Lawrence County subs. It's just the way it worked.
Well, and here's the thing. You know, there's a lot of talk and you hear a lot about running up the score and that kind of thing. There's only so much you can do, because when you put in the last 5 guys on the bench, you can't send them out there and then tell them to hold the ball and walk it up and that kind of thing. I mean,
they got to get some action too.
Those guys got to play. I mean, they work too hard in practice to not get out there and take advantage of that little time they do get. So, you know, stop them.
Lawrence County did not. Narrator.
You know,
I mean, what did you see out of, I mean, was it just pure better athletes?
Well, the athleticism obviously is there for Columbia Central. There's no question about that. You know, from the first, I don't know, 4 minutes of the first quarter, you know, Lawrence County held their own, including Alex Carr, who had 15 points of the 19, and Lawrence County had a lead at that point. Columbia was able to slowly get a lead towards the end of that first quarter and then extend it to 10 at half, but they just ended up wearing. And then the third quarter, it was like flipping a switch. It was unreal. They really turned up their defensive intensity, which led to a ton of fast break points. And if you've seen the article on MainStreetMurray.com, MainStreetPreps.com, and you go through some of the photos, obviously you're going to see a couple of those dunks. Q Martin, obviously, being able to play this game less than 24 hours after playing football in an all-star game that Mo was at in Clarksville, he makes such a huge difference. But Columbia was able to hit 13 of 24 from beyond the arc for threes,
Oh, wow. Okay.
including their first 4 or 5, I believe. Their first 4 buckets were all 3-pointers. They hit them all. And then at the foul line, Nick Campbell talked to us last week about how much better at the foul line they are this year. 13 of 15 from the foul line. And you combine those two with that defensive pressure, it's an obvious blueprint for success. And, if they can continue to shoot in that range, they don't have to be that hot, but this is a very, very good basketball team.
Well, he mentioned the 3-point shooting as well.
Yeah, and those 13 3-pointers came from 8 different guys.
Yeah. Yeah, they spread the love.
Yeah, 8 different guys, including freshman Dravius Hall, who does not strike you as
the 3-point
shooter.
No, he does not.
Apparently, he knocked one down as well. So 4 different guys in double digits for that game. Q Martin with a game high 23. Jordan Davis with 15. Omari Franklin with 11, and that kid, he's the silent assassin for them, man. He's kind of like another guy we're going to talk about later in the show. That corner 3 has been deadly since he stepped on campus, pretty much. And AJ Pillow with another 10. So they got scoring from everywhere. I think almost everybody that dressed scored. Again, 8 different guys hitting threes. We talked about their game against Riverdale last Saturday, where they scored 52 points in the second half, scored 54 in the second half.
Yeah.
Down at the Ralph Benson Gymnasium. So they are a second half club, it seems.
Yeah. And, and they did so amidst just an incredible atmosphere. Every coach that I talked to mentioned about how it had a tournament feel to it. It really did. And there's, as we talked about last week, there's a lot of subplots to Columbia, Lawrence County, in particular the boys. And so there was a lot of interest in this game. But Lawrence County traditionally will show up for basketball games. They did last Tuesday against Giles County. Of course, Friday night against Columbia. They've got another big one against Loretto coming up tomorrow night. But it was just an incredible atmosphere, and Columbia was able to do that amidst that, and really prepping them for for postseason play. I think because you're not going to get that everywhere. And
considering this is the only time these two meet this year, that probably fed into that atmosphere as well. There's not a return game here in Columbia in this rivalry.
Yeah, hopefully they had that scheduled for next year.
Yeah, but this is as we've talked, this was a district matchup for years and years and more years, and now with reclassification, it's not. But this is kind of a historical battle, so I'm sure that played a role in the atmosphere that you got on Friday night for it.
Yeah, and the girls was the same. The intensity of the crowd and the feel, and that game was back and forth. Lawrence County was able to hold on for, I think, a 53-48 win, but Coach Moore and Columbia Central played awfully well. Josie Parks, of course, typical. They were not able to play Saturday against Page due to some illness within the girls' team, so you would tend to think that there were probably a couple of players that were already under the weather a bit. However, they played through it. And again, a great environment. And Coach Moore mentioned that this was something that she feels that she can use moving forward in the future.
Yeah, no question. just reading that story, it's obvious that the girls game was intense and 26-24 at halftime, final score 5-point game. So knew it was coming down to the wire the entire time. Over at Culleoka, Chris Murdoch's Fayetteville Tigers put one on the Warrior Devils. They wore the Blue Devil jerseys on Friday. But, as I'm watching that game, it was a 40-35 game in the third quarter with about 2.5 minutes to go, Mo. 40-35.
Wow.
And then Culleoka did not score for 10 full game minutes. 10 minutes ran off the clock.
And Fayetteville hit another gear, huh?
It was like night and day. It was like Columbia Central coming out of the halftime, right? So as soon as Culleoka hits a three, goes down 40-35, they call timeout because, Mike Lovett, coach at Culleoka, basically said, my guys were gassed. They needed some rest. He was down one starter. His big man had something on his right hand where he couldn't, it was just taped up, so he could only play left-handed. And he's not left-handed, by the way. So, that
being Hunter Harris, who did not score.
Hunter was out.
Oh, okay. Who is the big guy?
Tanner Ray.
Okay.
Who played.
But did not score.
Played left-handed. And, he barely could rebound because he couldn't put any pressure at all on the wrist.
Is it broken?
It was just taped up, so I don't think it was broken, but it was rough. But that being said, you take that into consideration. I think Culleoka showed well against a really, really good. You can talk about an athletic team. This Fayetteville team is athletic. They're very, very good.
I'm gonna tell you what, that Braden Hockett can play at any level.
I would be, I mean, Hockett's as good as anybody. Isaiah Thompson had the 18 points, but literally 10 of those came on fast breaks after it was 40-35, and Culleoka just couldn't get up and down the floor. And it was tough. But and in the girls' game, Culleoka, man, they could not handle the full court press. Couldn't handle it. And it was a 2-2-1 full court press. And for whatever reason, the press break that they were using or they ended up in was always a 2-guard press break instead of a 1-guard, which you can't do that. I mean, you can't play into their hands. If they've got a 2-2-1, you've got to go to an odd number front. And they never did and couldn't get it to the middle of the court. It's just a struggle. But Macy McKinnon can play. Just letting you know. Macy McKinnon can play. She's a sophomore and is going to be good.
Hopefully they and their first-year kindergarten coach are going to learn from those type matchups, because what's going to happen is when they get back into district play, they're not going to see folks like Fayetteville. So.
Yeah, no, they're not. So anyway, that is it, man. We don't have time. Let's talk about C-State on the other side. Top of the segment. We'll talk about that game we saw today, Columbia State and SEMO Prep. It was interesting, to say the least. So stick around with us. Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. We'll talk about that and the Tennessee Titans react to their shutout win on Sunday right after this. So again, Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Back to the Lee Company studio right after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Festop Markets is a full-service, family-owned convenience store chain located in 14 locations throughout Middle and West Tennessee. For those in our listening area, you can find them in Columbia, Centerville, Lawrenceburg, Spring Hill, Dixon, and White Bluff.
Festop partners with wholesale fuel brands like Shell, Marathon, and Exxon, delivering a consistent customer experience that is fast, friendly, and clean. If it's not already, it will soon become your go-to store to shop in town or on the road. Festop Markets is proud to be keeping you moving in Tennessee.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ned Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Covering the teams you care about. It's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Once again, live from the Lee Company studio with the Hall of Famer Mo Patton. Here's Chris Yao.
Welcome back in Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Mo?
Chris?
Watched a little college basketball today, even if it is junior college. And nearly watched more than college basketball. I'm telling you, if not for that one official, it would have been a melee because he was calling everything to keep them from getting too
out
far
of hand.
Gone. Yeah, too far gone.
Yeah. Well, talk to Tariq Williams for a split second after the game, and he said, it's my first game back. I wasn't trying to get into nothing. So,
well,
sure
he didn't look
like it.
like he was avoiding it because, boy.
I mean, that was good to know. I'm glad he said that because, like you said, looks indicated otherwise.
Yeah, he was not happy. And post game, the handshakes. Well, he didn't get a handshake from one of his opponents. So
It was an Urban Meyer type handshake.
yeah,
That drive by.
no doubt. But Columbia State got up big on Southeast Missouri Prep in their second year as a school or as a prep school. And, prep schools are getting some really good athletes right now because of the issue with the extra year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A lot of kids don't really have their options are really limited coming out of high school in a lot of instances because there's such a bottleneck of prospective athletes. And if you remember when you and I talked to Mike Korn, the baseball coach at Columbia State, during the summer of 2020 about how
this was going to affect,
and it's pretty much come to fruition. I mean, it's just backing up with the blanket extra year of eligibility that everybody got at basically every level collegiately
without increasing the number of roster spots. See, that's the thing that's the problem is they gave all these kids extra years. They didn't give them any extra roster spots, which left high school seniors kind of
and juniors then,
seniors
now
they're in a pickle.
And
some of them.
And it's going to take a while, really, for this to kind of run its course.
Well, you still got almost double the number. I mean, at least 1.5 times the number of people, because you think about all the kids who reclassified for next year who are at prep schools currently. These seniors from this high school season are going in with 19, sometimes 20-year-olds. I mean, if I can take an 18-year-old or a 19, 20-year-old as a freshman, I'm probably going to take the older one. So if
their talents are comparable. Yep.
So
I don't know.
And this wasn't what we wanted to get into, but I don't know what's going to happen.
And I don't know when that
stops,
clears up,
if ever. It's good for these prep schools. There's a ton of them now.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a ton of them.
They're really popping up.
And that's good. It's a good thing to have them because otherwise these kids wouldn't be playing.
Yeah.
So, and we saw some of those players like Jamari Bostick, who came back to C State for a third year. He's been today. He was phenomenal. I mean, that guy shoots the corner three, as you mentioned earlier, as well as anybody I've ever seen.
And I don't know if he sneaks up on people because he's left-handed, because you just aren't used to that. I would imagine in conference play, that's kind of in the scout. He's left-handed. Don't get caught on the wrong side, But he finished with a game high 20 points, and he had missed their last 4 or 5 games with some personal stuff going on. But I think Winston Neal and the Chargers were glad to see him back.
And they will be glad to see him going forward. Do they play before?
They play Thursday, I believe, at C State. Hang on just a second. It's an afternoon game. I don't remember if it's Thursday or Wednesday.
The only thing that
they played Thursday at the Web at 1:00 against Experience Prep.
Gotcha. So they must have added that since they
did
since they put out these nice posters.
They did.
The posters are pretty cool.
Those posters that a lot of Columbia Academy kids were getting autographed after the game.
I was thinking about it. They play Birmingham Southern's junior varsity
after Christmas,
New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve, 1:00. Go get that game in. Get home. Watch Alabama. Eat some watch the late game,
Eat some.
eat some, drink some, you know.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, because, but a really good job today by the Chargers. And, they got out to a big lead, had to kind of hold off a pretty good run from the Huskies.
They scored the game's first 21 points.
21-0 run to start.
21-0 run to start the game. It was 59-49 with 11 minutes to play.
Yeah.
And
I think that was the last time it was as close as that.
Yeah, I don't think they ever cut it to single digits, and the final was 88-62. Again, Jamari Bostick with a game high 20 points, 4 threes. Xavier Griffith with another 19. Trey Carlton, the former Summit.
The Summit Spartan.
Yes. And Malik Oates with 13 points apiece. So spread it around a little bit.
Yeah. I'm going to push the Titans to the top of the hour because JP said that his new opening has to do with the Titans. So we're gonna let him have it.
It'll be worth it.
Yeah, he said it's worth it. So I want to address this rumor here that Clayton Harris, station manager here at WKOM 1017 FM.
Oh, Clayton and Rumor?
Never.
Love you, Clayton.
Never
Sorry,
heard.
couldn't pass that up.
I know you find that hard to believe.
He says potentially the carousel not closed.
Oh.
As a rumor that Ryan Day, Ohio State coach, could be taking a job with the Chicago Bears.
A job with the Chicago
I don't know
Bears.
if that means they're
Which
head
job?
coaching job. I don't know. The rumor is that Day to the Bears, which would then, of course, open up Ohio State, which, of course, would be Luke Fickell's dream job, which would then open up Cincinnati.
Oh.
And yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
That would throw some wrenches into the pot, is what that would do. Thanks, NFL. Anyway.
I'm sure Ohio State would be excited to hear said rumor.
I mean, if you got a chance to go to the NFL, man, when you get a job in the NFL, you're in the NFL for life at some level.
Yeah. Hugh Jackson on line 1.
I think Hugh probably could have had a job if he wanted one. I think he ended up.
Hugh Jackson, new head coach at
Grambling State,
by the way.
Which is, again, as I texted you, great for Hugh, unfortunate for Eddie.
Yeah, not so good for Coach George.
But sorry, you're right, Coach George. I apologize.
As opposed to Coach Prime.
I don't need to call him Eddie. When I get in trouble.
Please don't do that.
Yeah, I don't know what that would do. That would be a game changer because Ohio State is, again, that would be one of the biggest jobs to come open.
And how does Luke Fickell turn that down? He doesn't.
Yeah, no. I mean, after
here's the question.
31st, it's not going to matter.
But here's the question, though. I mean, can Ohio State hire the Cincinnati coach?
Well, he was an Ohio State coach before he was Cincinnati's coach, though. Think about that. He was a coordinator at Ohio State.
I guess that does help.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the only reason.
Mm-hmm.
If he were just some Joe Schmo that Cincinnati had, I don't think Ohio State would have hired. Who was the guy before?
Who was the guy?
Fickell,
before?
who left and went to. Was it?
Well, there was Brian Kelly too long ago.
Brian Kelly
that left Cincinnati to go to Notre Dame.
That's
I think he was
not been there that long.
No, but that's what I was thinking
Yeah.
of. It wasn't like Ohio State hired Brian Kelly out of Cincinnati from Central Michigan. It wasn't a Central Michigan, Cincinnati, Ohio State. It was Ohio State, Cincinnati, back to Ohio State. That's the only way they get away with it. The only way.
Well, and you're hiring a playoff coach.
Yeah, they don't want to admit that.
Well,
that
but-
Cincinnati's in the
No,
playoff
yeah,
and they're not.
they're not.
Yeah, they don't want to admit that.
That certainly won't be the resume builder that they're looking for.
but
yeah.
he's one of their own.
Yeah, he is.
He's one of their own.
He is. So, and that's the only way. But
So you're saying Butch Jones couldn't have gone from Cincinnati to Ohio State then? Huh?
is that who was there?
Yes.
It was Butch Jones.
Fickle succeeded Butch. Is that right?
That makes sense.
Timeline does.
Oof.
I don't know if there was anybody in between or not.
I have no idea.
I'm about to find out.
Well, I mean, Ohio's Ryan Day going to the NFL is kind of like, I guess it's bigger than Urban or some of the others, but maybe not as big as, say, Spurrier when he made the jump.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I'm not sure Tuberville was there.
Oh,
It was Tuberville.
Tuberville replaced Butch.
Senator Tommy Tuberville to you.
That's another story for another day. Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
So check this out. The last 5 Cincinnati head coaches. Mark D'Antonio,
Okay.
Brian Kelly,
Mm-hmm.
Butch Jones, Senator Tuberville, and Luke Fickell. There's also a 1-year Watson Brown at Cincinnati.
Wow. That's interesting.
And Mike Gottfried, he of ESPN fame. I guess he went to Cincinnati from Murray State.
He did. It's interesting. Mark did. That's a heck of a stepping stone job there.
Clearly.
Maybe Ohio State's becoming a stepping stone job like Oregon. I mean, Ohio State to retirement to the Jaguars. Maybe it's an NFL coaching stomping ground. I
Go
don't know.
figure.
Probably not.
All right.
Maybe not. I don't know. There's a lot that goes into these rumors, especially when you're talking about coaches who just want to get a pay raise, especially when everybody else is getting pay raises. Like, you know, the Michigan State guy that you just drubbed is getting $95 million.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe that's where this is at. All I know is Saban's counting his $1. His $1 bill. Because his contract states whoever the highest paid coach is, he gets paid
$1 more.
$1 more. Count that dollar. Coach
Gotta like
Saban.
it.
Top of the hour. On the other side, we will talk Titans. Come back with us. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Festop Markets is a full-service, family-owned convenience store chain located in 14 locations throughout Middle and West Tennessee. For those in our listening area, you can find them in Columbia, Centerville, Lawrenceburg, Spring Hill, Dixon, and White Bluff.
Festop partners with wholesale fuel brands like Shell, Marathon, and Exxon, delivering a consistent customer experience that is fast, friendly, and clean. If it's not already, it will soon become your go-to store to shop in town or on the road. Festop Markets is proud to be keeping you moving in Tennessee.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ned Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com. Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Let me say something else too about Mo Patton. Mo has done it all. I mean, he's covered the Titans, he's covered the Vols, he's done high school. He's a fantastic writer. He's now actually hosting a talk show every day in Columbia that is outstanding.
Tannehill rolling to the left, turns, runs, scores, finger roll, touchdown! Yes, sir! Ryan Tannehill with the recognition, and then he hit the ignition to take it on into the end zone with some speed. Lawrence to throw it. Looking, fires down the middle. Intercepted screen. Buster screen to the 30, to the 25, to the 20. Buster screen is taken down at the 15. Fourth interception for the Titans. And it's Chattanooga's own Buster Screen.
Yeah, we talk Titans. Why? Because we drive mildly affordable sport utility vehicles too, but we have all-wheel drive, and we're all in on the two-tone blue. This is Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. With the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's the Sundrop Kid from Alabama, Chris Yao.
I'm not sure. Can you explain that joke to me?
Which one?
The SUV joke.
The SUV. Well, you know, the comment of, was it the Dodgers in the, they drive.
Well, they drive Mercedes-Benz.
Yeah, well,
too.
Okay.
we don't drive Mercedes-Benz.
No, we don't.
Yeah, but we drive
Moderately
affordable SUVs.
There we go.
That's true.
That's fair.
That's
Not
yeah.
inaccurate.
It's deep. But,
That's a deep cut.
But that's what we do here.
Yeah, that's a deep cut, and I like it.
we-
I'm here for that deep cut.
We go deep.
Chicks dig the long ball.
The compliments of our friends at Titans Radio, by the way, and Mike Keith
Yeah,
and
dude.
Coach Mack.
Friend of the show.
Mike Keith,
The Vot.
the man, the myth, the legend himself. Anyway,
Mike had fun yesterday.
Yes, he did.
like.
bet he did. I mean, you know, when the defense plays that way, that he gets more excited about the defense than the offense.
I think that game was good for what ailed a lot of people at St. Thomas Sports Park and beyond.
I wish it would ail this one guy I follow on Twitter who is insufferable. Insufferable.
And yet you follow him?
Well, he follows me too, and I'm team follow back. So
What does that mean?
Team follow back.
if you follow me, I'll follow you.
Oh, okay.
That's
Team
that's
follow.
fair.
Team follow XO. Is that what you say? Is that how you?
Yeah. No, I mean,
Follow back as opposed to hollow back.
Follow back. I got you.
I'm a follow back guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, and he's not the only one, but he's the most insufferable about Tannehill and some other things. But like, this game, especially after 4 turnovers yield 3 points, you're not happy about that. You're punting after a turnover. You're at midfield. It's 4th and 1 and you punt. Like, I mean, just little things like that. And I can get the frustration because you would like to feel like, we can get this yard. It's the Jaguars. But also, why give them the ball at the 50?
Well, yeah.
If you don't get the yard.
And I think sometimes with this team, that arrogance has gotten them into some trouble. So, sometimes discretion is the better part of valor.
And
Kick it, pin them.
and be done.
Yeah.
And Kern didn't have a great game,
No, he didn't.
which was another one of this particular tweeter's
But,
issues.
but you know what? If anybody is due an off day,
it would be him.
it'd
because
be 6.
I don't know that if he's had one since. I mean,
Brett Kern would have to kick a couple off the side of his foot for 5 yards for me to get down on him. And that's literally, he'd have to do it twice in a game. It happens.
mhm.
Yeah, a 40-yard punt is a
Bad punt.
bad punt for him,
Right.
and for most pro punters. But still,
But that dude, he's been doing it so well for so long. Come on now. I'm just No.
There will be no Brett Kern slander on this time.
no.
None.
0.
I mean,
I'm team Brett Kern.
forever. I mean, that guy, he is phenomenal. But this is one of those. Have you seen the movie I was telling you about, the Snipes
I'm not.
Okay. Well, did you end up watching it?
Not yet. I think that may be something we get to this week.
So there's
Yeah.
there's a scene in there where he puts his hand up like this and makes one of his fans put his hand up to make a circle. He's like, I'm putting him in the circle. Brett Kern's in my circle.
By the way, for those not watching, Mo and Chris were holding up is it the heart?
It was
Yeah.
the heart, but
The heart? Kern.
It wasn't great.
I heart.
But
Yeah.
Brett Kern is
Brett
in my
Kern.
circle. No doubt. No doubt. But yeah, this is a game that you felt like you wanted to win 31-37. You
wanted to.
You wanted to score some points. You
Oh,
wanted
absolutely.
To
You wanted to
especially
score
with-
some points, and you wanted them to not score.
especially
you got
with
half
4
of it.
turnovers and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But also, you knew there's no reason to be aggressive because
Recklessly aggressive.
they're not going to score. I mean, it was a Tom Glavine game 6 situation. They're not gonna.
Would somebody please get a run, because they're not. Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly how it felt. I mean, this defense literally came out. And by the way, if you listened to the television broadcast and you heard Jay Feely say something about Christian Fulton being picked on by Trevor Lawrence, just remember that Jay Feely is the literal last person that they will give a job to. I mean,
Pay no attention to Jay
Did-
Feely.
Describe when you say last person they'll give a job to. Just
he is the
meaning
he is the bottom of
he's
the
the
barrel.
bottom,
He
yeah.
is the last person that they give a
Yeah.
job to on Sunday.
he's on the
If-
F or G crew.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
if
okay.
CBS had one fewer game than
He
they
wouldn't have
had
a job.
yesterday, he would not have been on the air.
Isn't he on the sideline sometimes?
If he is, he doesn't need to be there either. I mean,
Okay.
he's
Sorry.
pretty well awful,
I don't, I listen, I sync up the radio broadcast
as everyone should.
to hear the bot.
Listen, Jay Feely is terrible, and the first thing out of his mouth was, Christian Fulton's a guy that they can pick on a little bit today, and I'm like, have you watched a single
Based
Titans
on
game?
what exactly? Yeah.
And all Christian Fulton did was, get a pick. But so did everybody else. It was you get a pick, you get a pick. Everybody gets a
Saw
pick.
that coming. 4 of them. Yeah. And I mean, once the Titans went down and scored on their opening drive, you literally felt
never-
like the game was over with.
Never in my mind was there a doubt. I mean,
Never in jeopardy.
I'm watching it as we were walking around Opry Mills Mall doing some Christmas shopping, and I'm sitting there going, I don't need to watch this. This game's
You're
over.
not
I mean,
missing anything.
I didn't. I missed nothing. I mean, I would occasionally stop and check it, but it just felt like
Other than catching up on how Julio Jones was doing.
Yeah. I wanted to see how some of these guys came back,
Mhm.
from injuries, and it felt like everybody kind of got their feet under them, got their feet wet, and this was a really good time for this game.
Right. Coming out of the bye, getting folks healthy, getting some folks back,
Not having to show a lot either. Not
not
having
having to show a lot, not having to strain
Exactly.
a lot. I mean, they didn't have to go 4 quarters
Yep.
to win this ball game.
because I was thinking in the second half, McNichols got the lion's share of the action in the backfield, and I was wondering, well, why isn't Foreman? Because he had the better game so far. But it's get him back
It
going.
was just getting some folks
was-
some reps.
Yeah, it was.
It was like a preseason game.
It
in
was.
week 14.
It did have that vibe about it.
Yeah, it really felt like this team was just determined to get the W. That's all that mattered. After what happened,
Defensively, Kevin Byard said they were determined to get the shutout.
well, as a whole, it really felt like this team was just in we have to win the game, whatever it takes. We want to dominate, but we're going to do what it takes to win the game. Everybody from Coach Vrabel down to, Brett Kern. So, at this point, the Titans are now find themselves in a really good position. I mean, they find themselves 3 games ahead of the Colts, and the magic number is 2 with 5 games to play. They've played 13, so
4 games.
4
so
games
far.
to play.
Yeah.
The magic number is 2 with 4 games to play. Any combination of the Colts losing and the Titans winning,
That adds up to 2.
it adds up to 2. That's where we are.
Yeah.
So, this week the Colts and the Patriots play. The Patriots and the Titans are currently tied with the Chiefs atop the AFC with 9-4 records. Patriots hold the tiebreaker over the Titans and the Chiefs, I guess. I've actually not seen. I don't know if they even play, but either way, the Titans hold, or the Titans have beaten the Chiefs and the Patriots have beaten the Titans. So I guess if they don't play, the Patriots are who would be ahead.
Meanwhile, as you said, the Colts play the Patriots next Saturday.
Yeah, that's on Saturday.
Saturday
It's
night game.
on the 18th.
They play the next 2 Saturdays, the Colts do, because on Christmas they play at Arizona. Then they finish up against visiting Vegas and at Jacksonville. So
You really got to hope the Colts. Well, it doesn't matter what the Colts do as long as the Titans take care of business. The Titans have to take care of business, and they've got the Steelers, Niners, Dolphins, and Texans left. They've got to win 2 of those games, period.
But if the Titans were to beat the beat the Steelers and the Patriots were to beat the Colts, then it's done
It's done,
next week.
but you're a week less into being able to gain that number 1 seed. What you're hoping for.
So you want the Colts to beat the Patriots?
That's
then.
correct. You want the Colts to beat the Patriots because it's the best chance for the Patriots to lose.
Mm-hmm. Who do they have left?
They have the Bills, the Jags, and the Dolphins.
The Bills, the Jags, and the Dolphins. Yeah, you're right. That's their best chance to lose, especially given what we saw out of the Bills yesterday against Tampa Bay.
So that just, I think.
So you need the Colts to beat the Patriots, and then just for the Titans.
But you have to win out.
Yeah.
Either way. No matter what,
which can
you
be
win
done.
out. So that it's okay to
Mhm.
root for the Colts because we got to win out either way. No matter what.
I tell you, the one thing
And
that
the Colts aren't really an impact.
No. Because
They
if we
could
win
be.
out, they're not going to matter,
well, they're not going to be
at least to the playoffs.
the division. They could get a wild card, and that's the one team. As a Titans fan, I do not want to face in the playoffs because
Especially at home.
either way, we've beaten them twice already. They're playing as good as anybody in
Well, there's
league
no
right
way
now.
we're going to Indy.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is the Titans don't
Yeah.
play against the Colts well at home.
Doesn't matter where you play them.
I see what you're saying.
But you have a better chance of beating them in Indy, historically speaking.
The Colts they have that vibe or feel about them like back when the Titans were in the other division against the Ravens.
Yes.
And playing them postseason. You know, that's how it feels.
Well, I don't want to play the Ravens either. That's the thing. Right now, if the season ended today, we'd have to play the Bills.
Who do you want to play? I want to play the Bills.
I'd love to play the Bills. They're bad right now. We need to beat the Steelers.
In Pittsburgh?
Yeah, but yeah.
That'll be fun.
It should be 12 o'clock kick on Sunday. Titans are favored, so there's that. Big Ben looks like Big Ben is just going to be a target for this run. And Zach Cunningham should be playing.
Don't ask about it, though.
No, we can ask about it now.
You sure?
It's this week.
Let's just see.
When we come back, we've got more to talk about. A ton of college football to get to, college hoops as well. So plenty, again, to get to. Transfer portal is full. No more transfers. Come back with us after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Festop Markets is a full-service, family-owned convenience store chain located in 14 locations throughout Middle and West Tennessee. For those in our listening area, you can find them in Columbia, Centerville, Lawrenceburg, Spring Hill, Dixon, and White Bluff.
Festop partners with wholesale fuel brands like Shell, Marathon, and Exxon, delivering a consistent customer experience that is fast, friendly, and clean. If it's not already, it will soon become your go-to store to shop in town or on the road. Festop Markets is proud to be keeping you moving in Tennessee.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ned Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
This is Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Sports talk like it used to be. You know, like your crazy uncle used to listen to. Only better. Here's Chris and Mo.
Welcome back in to the Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today Reaction Monday show. You'll notice it's dark outside. If I went outside right now and I took one of these ring lights and put it right up in front of my face, I would look like Bo Nix did when he announced that he was going to the transfer portal. Have you guys seen this video?
I saw a screenshot of the video. I've not actually watched the video.
I don't know how it's possible. Like, I was expecting halfway for him to like hold up a newspaper to prove what day it was, because it really looked like a hostage situation.
You think somebody made Bo Nix go into the transfer portal?
I mean, there was definitely, if you listen to his video, there was definitely a teleprompter involved. It was very similar to the Red House is for me. I mean, it was I'm not saying forced, but it was certainly pre-written. That wasn't an off the cuff. I'm going to go live and this is what's going to sound like kind of thing. So Bo Nix in the transfer portal, along with teammate
as
now
is everybody else,
Tank Bigsby, which is a big loss for Auburn, by the way. If Tank Bigsby wanted to go anywhere in the Southeastern Conference, he would be the starting running back, would he not? At what schools would he not be? Alabama and Georgia?
A&M?
Spiller? He's gone though, right?
Oh, you mean for next year?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, whatever school he goes to, he would probably be the number one guy, or at least he would challenge it.
Oh, yeah. I can't think of where he wouldn't challenge for the number one spot.
That's a big loss for Brian Harsin.
Perhaps bigger than Bo.
Yeah.
They're big for different reasons, because as we were talking earlier today, Bo Nix is a third-generation Auburn football player. And his grandfather played there as well as his dad, Patrick. So,
look,
whatever took place that soured Bo Nix on Auburn University, you have to ask. You got to ask what happened. And that it would seem like to me there have to be a lot of people within that program doing some self-eval. What did we do to bring this about?
Well, based on the tweets from Brian Harsin, it was a Bo problem, not an Auburn problem.
Well, pride goeth before a fall too.
Here's the thing. Bo Nix is not a great quarterback. He's a serviceable quarterback. He's pretty good. And he's certainly as magician-like as Johnny Manziel.
Okay, let me ask you this. He may not be a great quarterback, but in terms of the quarterbacks on that roster,
he's by far the best.
You got somebody better coming?
Well, this is what I'm getting at, is a lot of people, especially Auburn fans, give Bo Nix a ton of grief and talk about his attitude and all this other stuff. And the fact of the matter is, you'd have a bad attitude too if your coworkers didn't do their job and everybody blamed you for it.
Bo Nix probably cares more about Auburn football than whoever it is giving him grief.
Why do you think the running back is also transferring? If the quarterback and the running back are transferring, what the problem really is? It's probably them 5 people up front who's getting me and my buddy back here killed every dadgum game.
Getting my quarterback's ankle broke.
I'm tired of getting killed. I'm tired of running for my life every week. I'm tired of having to make Johnny Manziel-like plays because y'all can't block nobody. And that's on Gus Malzahn. It's poor recruiting.
Well, it's interesting that you say it's on Gus Malzahn, since
all the rumors seem to indicate he's going to go play for Gus
UCF.
Malzahn. Can't imagine. And that's the thing, is I can't. Is he thinking deep enough to realize that's the problem? I mean, Gus is playing with Josh's players right now. Heupel, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I'm just throwing that out there. But he's not the only quarterback in the portal. I mean, you've got
he's not the only quarterback to go in the portal this weekend.
He's the fourth. He was the second of 3 SEC West quarterbacks to enter the portal in the last 3 days. Max Johnson was the first from LSU.
Mm-hmm.
Then Bo on Sunday. Today, Zach Calzada of Texas A&M has entered the portal.
I don't understand that one.
Hey, he beat Alabama. What more has he got to do?
I don't know.
Take it to the house.
Where's
Is what
he
you do,
going?
Zach.
That's the surprise for me. Now, looking at the recruiting,
He's a true freshman. Right?
Yeah.
I know he's a freshman. Is he a true freshman or a red
he was a
shirt?
true, I
he's
think.
true.
I don't know what kind of quarterback recruits that Jimbo has. If it's like all the other recruits, it's pretty top notch, and maybe Calzada was kind of told, "Hey, you've got a long shot to compete."
Thanks for what you
Yeah.
did, but you're still going to have a battle on your hands.
Yeah.
So according to the Houston Chronicle, the move leaves the Aggies without an experienced quarterback for the Gator Bowl.
That's true.
He's listed as a sophomore.
Hmm.
Started 10 games this season, taking over the role after Haynes King broke his leg in the second game of the season, went 6-4, 17 touchdowns, 9 picks. Always be remembered for the night he threw for 285 and 3 touchdowns in the win against Alabama.
Heck, that won one guy a Heisman.
Yeah.
Fisher doesn't expect King to be available, which leaves the Aggies with walk-on Blake Bost
And their tight end.
and Eli Stowers, who was moved from quarterback to tight end
Yeah.
earlier in the season, and doesn't really get into what their prospects at the position look like for next year.
Maybe King coming back. You don't lose your job to injury. Maybe Jimbo goes that way. I don't know.
I mean, I would think that you would have an opportunity to hash all that out in spring.
You would think.
Why wait?
Yeah.
Quarterback. The transfer portal is awfully ripe
there.
with quarterbacks. I don't know.
Jimbo's already picked King over him once.
Listen. Bo Nix, Zach Calzada, Spencer Ratliff, and Max Johnson. Who else?
Rattler.
Sorry.
Yeah. Who else? I saw that somewhere. Dylan Gabriel from UCF.
Yeah.
Keaton Slovis from USC. Taquan Robinson from Penn State. Going off the top
So
of
no
my head.
starters off the
No.
top. Okay, so you've got those 4 right there who are former Power 5 starters.
Mhm.
Which one you taking? If you get to pick of the 4, which one are you taking if you are a Power 5 coach and you need a quarterback?
If I'm talking about Nix, Max Johnson, Zach Calzada, excuse me,
And
and
Rattler.
Rattler, I'm
Yep.
taking Rattler.
Even after the way, I think I'm taking Calzada. Of those-
Calzada is a good pick because he's still got 2 years left, apparently.
Well,
at
Yeah, I would go
least.
Calzada.
That's not a bad call.
Not just that, but I mean, you saw that kid's toughness in the Alabama game. You saw how good he could be and how tough he could be. And I mean, honestly, he seems like probably the best pure quarterback of the group. Now, Bo Nix gives you something that nobody else gives you, and or at least of those 4, he gives you the ability to make things happen with his feet.
Yeah, it's just 1 year though, right?
He does just
Yeah.
have the 1 year.
I mean, it all depends on your need.
But if you had to have somebody for this year, if you
Just for 1
thought a quarterback
Was what you
was
needed.
what
the
you
difference.
needed, which
You're
one are you
a
taking?
quarterback away from going from good to great. Only one of those guys was a Heisman front runner.
True.
Yeah, but he quickly showed that he was not a
Did he,
Heisman
though?
front- Oh yeah, dude, he played awful. That Texas game was putrid, and we saw what Texas really was after that game. Putrid.
Yeah.
He played terrible against in the first
Kansas.
game.
No, Williams was already there.
The
Yeah.
first game. We
Who
watched
was
it. Tulane
Yep.
was
Right.
awful against Tulane. Yeah, Rattler's not the guy. Now, if he goes to Ole Miss, where Lane Kiffin is a quarterback whisperer,
Mhm.
I think that's a different story. But if I'm just a coach,
Well,
if
isn't
I'm not
Riley a
Lane-
quarterback whisperer?
Apparently not.
No.
Well, no.
Riley got Jalen Hurts and Kyler Murray, two of the if you go look at the
Baker
statistics,
Mayfield.
and Baker Mayfield, those three guys right there were bona fide quarterbacks.
Wasn't Rattler considered on that level going in?
I don't know
though?
if Mayfield.
He was.
I mean, Mayfield was a walk-on at Texas Tech.
Yeah,
right?
Mayfield wasn't.
I mean,
He turned out to be.
But he played at Texas Tech
as a walk-on.
As a walk-on, earned a scholarship, then transferred to Oklahoma. Jalen Hurts won a national title. Of course, the one game he got taken out of was the national championship, but he still won the title before the year before that.
Yep.
And Kyler Murray, also a
Texas
Tech transfer.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody that came in there had already been coached. Is my point. And they stepped into an offense that was insanely good. So, no, I don't think Lincoln Riley was the reason that those three were that great. Spencer Rattler being Exhibit A.
Well, you've got one negative and you've got three positives. 2.5. I'll grant you Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts was already proven when he got there. The other two weren't necessarily at that level.
No,
Kyler Murray and Baker Mayfield. And they both won Heisman, and they both were the number 1 overall pick. I mean, Riley had to have something to do with that, right?
I'm telling you that the offense that they stepped into was far better than what Rattler had at Oklahoma. I think the entire offense as a whole was better with those three as well. I don't know that Rattler was that big of an issue. I mean, if you go back and watch that Kansas game, you can see that their offense was not great as a whole.
Rattler didn't have the weapons
right
that those other
I think that's fair to say. Yeah.
Had.
But if Spencer Rattler instead of Matt Corral had been at Ole Miss this year, they're just as good, if not better.
I think they're similar quarterbacks. Yeah.
But I think that that's because of Lane Kiffin, not because of the player. I think Lane Kiffin is the quarterback whisperer. Of all the coaches in college football, if I'm a quarterback and I want to go to the league,
that's where you want to get to.
That's who I want to go to. That's the way I look at it. Now, I mean, overall, again, if I've got 1 year and I've got one guy, I'm probably taking Calzada or Nix, just because they've played at the highest level. Bo Nix, that first game against his first career game against Oregon was a thing of beauty.
I can see that. I mean, and I watched Calzada at times over the course of the seasons, and like you said, the toughness that he played with was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
it was very Byron Leftwich-esque.
I just feel like Rattler's upside has not been reached.
I'll agree with that.
And maybe, I know you hate the phrase, but maybe a change of surroundings would do him good.
Absolutely. I think it's possible. I mean, I would hate to see him if I were, Missouri or LSU. I wouldn't want to see him in one of those uniforms. Arkansas? Oof.
I think that's spoken for the next little bit.
Yeah, KJ Jefferson's solid.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, but that type of offense where where you're not leaned upon to be the guy all the time.
Right.
That would be something to watch out for.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Brady says he's trying to stay in the NFL. Here's the thing.
That means he doesn't have a job offer.
If Cincinnati comes open and Ryan Day goes to the NFL, what then? Yeah. I don't know. We're going to talk college hoops on the other side, so stick around right after this. Round ball. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
Festop Markets is a full-service, family-owned convenience store chain located in 14 locations throughout Middle and West Tennessee. For those in our listening area, you can find them in Columbia, Centerville, Lawrenceburg, Spring Hill, Dixon, and White Bluff.
Festop partners with wholesale fuel brands like Shell, Marathon, and Exxon, delivering a consistent customer experience that is fast, friendly, and clean. If it's not already, it will soon become your go-to store to shop in town or on the road. Festop Markets is proud to be keeping you moving in Tennessee.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ned Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
The sports talk show you've always wanted. It's Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. From preps to pros. Live from the Lee Company studio. With the Hall of Famer Mo Patton, here's Chris Yao.
Welcome back in Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today. Before we get into college hoops, I want to mention that tomorrow, Top 5 Tuesday, is Top 5 Heisman runners up. Should be fun. Should be a good list. All of mine are pretty recent, sans one, and by that I mean in my lifetime. I didn't see the other ones, guys. And I didn't see some of these. I just saw highlights, but but it's going to be a good one. I think that's going to be a good list. I'm looking forward to it. And I was listening to the George Plaster show, which comes on before us on 101.7 today. And The stat of the day came from Terry McCormick, which said Bryson Young is the 8th SEC quarterback to win the Heisman. Can you name the other 7? Yeah.
SEC quarterbacks to win the Heisman?
SEC quarterbacks. There are 8. Bryce Young.
Okay.
Stop.
Let's go. In the 70s.
Pat Sullivan.
All right.
Spurrier.
That's correct.
Yep. Joe Burrows.
Okay.
Burrow.
But
Yeah.
yes.
Burrow.
We just talked about one.
Mr.
Mr. Magic.
Johnny Manziel. Johnny Football. I mean, is that 5?
That's
Yeah.
5.
The GOAT. The greatest college football player to ever play.
Oh, Tim Tebow.
That's right.
I'm like,
Not my opinion, but I knew who you were talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah,
and it's not mine either. That's why I was thrown
That's 6.
off.
So we're one
That's
more?
6. 2 more.
2 more?
Right? No,
Yeah.
that's just one more.
Couch didn't win it, did he?
Tim Couch did not win the Heisman, though. Although
Archie,
he might
Archie
should have.
didn't win it, did he? Archie did not win it, right?
No, Archie did not win it.
The 7th one is the one that got me. I couldn't name it.
Is this a team from a team that is now part of the SEC, but at the time wasn't?
I don't know. I had to I got out of the car to go to the gas station, so
Yeah.
I don't know the answer. I was hoping we could come up with it.
Oh, goodness. Were there 2 from Auburn?
Pat Sullivan and Bo Jackson, the only 2.
Cam
that-
Newton.
Cam Newton.
Cam
there it is.
Newton.
Cam Newton.
So, yes.
Yes. Hello.
Yes, there we go. Cam Newton. There you go.
Somebody out there screaming at the radio right now.
Right.
It's Cam.
How do you forget
You
about Scam?
idiots.
You
Yeah.
idiot.
How you forget about Scam Newton?
Scam Newton. Yeah.
Mr. Laptop.
Oh,
Anyway, so thank you for helping me solve that mystery
there you go.
because it was taking me a while and I didn't get to hear the answer. So I was like, man, that sucks.
Yeah, so you really were curious.
I really
All
want
right.
this. I didn't know the answer. Oh, the college hoops over the weekend was phenomenal. We'll start here in the state, Mo. Trouble in Paradise continues for Memphis State as Penny and the Tigers fall to Murray State of the OVC.
And, you know, on its face, there's no shame in losing to Murray State.
So long as you're not Memphis.
There you go.
I mean, you're right. I mean, losing to Murray State is it's not indicative of your team being just terrible.
No. But if you're Memphis, it's certainly not expected.
Right. I mean, you're Memphis. You're supposed to
Mhm.
beat Murray State every time you step on the floor with them.
Every time.
And it's interesting because, we had just had this conversation about, is the worst really over? Well,
No.
we both certainly did not think the worst was really over, but it is what it is.
They have now lost 4 straight.
And it ain't getting easier because their next game is against number 9 or 7. No, I don't know what they moved up.
6.
Number 6, Alabama.
That's tomorrow night at the FedEx Forum. That game is on ESPN. 8:00 tip. And then, as if that ain't bad enough, they got a little trip to Bridgestone on Saturday to take on number 18 Tennessee.
That's not a great schedule. You could legitimately be on a 7-game losing streak by Saturday.
6, I think.
Whatever.
They lost to Iowa State. They lost at Georgia, at Ole Miss, and Friday against Murray. 74-72 to Murray. So, yeah, they could legit easily lose 6 straight before they finally play Alabama State a week from tomorrow.
And at that point, is that game a given? At what point do your players go, dude, I don't care what you did as a player.
Well,
You can't coach.
Well, I mean, Folks in Florida would tell you that it's not after their 15-point loss to Texas Southern last week. So, I mean, enter at your own peril.
Yeah, playing against Alabama and by the way, Alabama is probably the best basketball team in the SEC.
Right now, it seems like. I mean,
they've beaten Gonzaga and Houston.
And that Houston win was not easy.
Jim Dunaway this morning on the next round said Houston is better than Gonzaga. After watching both games, he said that it was evident that Houston was better than Gonzaga. And of course, Alabama went to Seattle and beat Gonzaga. They had to struggle to beat Houston at home. So I guess if you're into that sort of thing, seems like Houston probably is better than Gonzaga.
Quite possibly.
Now, they didn't react very well after the loss. At least
what happened? Was there some controversy at the end? Because apparently I was watching it, and then next thing I know, I'm waking up to all hell breaking loose.
So I'm on Twitter trying to figure out what happened because there's no video, there's no nothing. Like I mean, I follow a lot of Alabama people, and there was no video whatsoever from. I had no idea why. The only video I saw was of the Houston kid picking up trash. I'm like, why is there trash on the floor?
Because I think Kelvin Sampson kicked a trash can over on his way off the floor.
He did, in fact, kick a trash can over on the way out, and a player from Houston stopped to pick up said trash. Also broke a chair, did Sampson.
Apologize profusely to everyone, to Nate Oates, to
called Greg Byrne.
Yeah.
I mean, and look, Kelvin Sampson.
Heat of the moment, man.
Yeah, he is a class act, a great college football coach and a great dude.
Basketball.
Sorry. Yes. Also a great basketball coach too in his own right.
Both. Yeah. He does. He doesn't get to coach a whole lot of college football, but
if he were,
he'd be good.
But no, he is. He's a good dude, a great coach, and his team lost a very difficult game in which there was in fact some controversy that apparently, the last shot goes up and an Alabama player blocked it on its way down, supposedly. Now, some people will tell you that it wasn't on its way down. Others will tell you it was. Some will tell you it was on its way down, but it wasn't anywhere near the goal. So, I don't know. But should it have been goaltending? Maybe. Would have won the game if they made it.
That's a heck of a call.
I think you just let that one. I think if you're the player, you just let that one go. Let the chips fall where they may. Don't give them any opportunity to call goaltending. But
yeah,
they did not call it. Alabama won. Beat number
Houston
14.
went off.
Yeah, Houston. Kelvin Sampson went ballistic, as understandably so. I mean, if you feel like you're in that situation, it's a tough ball game against a top 10 team, and you want to win. But this is the best team in the SEC, and now Memphis has got to play them. And that's not a good place to be when your back is against the wall.
I mean, you are playing them at home.
At least you get them at home.
But they also beat Gonzaga at Gonzaga.
Yeah, I mean, playing this Alabama team, just because they're on the road doesn't mean anything.
Clearly.
I mean, this is a team that is seriously staring down a number one overall seed.
And I'm going to tell you, again,
and we're not even in a conference play yet.
I fell asleep on the tail end of it, but I did not fall asleep before Javon. Is that his name? Quinterly?
Yes.
That dude.
He's pretty good.
He may be the quickest guy with the ball I've seen in a long time. I mean, when he gets going downhill, he can get to the rim on anybody. And did the other night.
And does a phenomenal job when he gets there.
Yeah.
He finishes. He doesn't just get there.
Yeah.
And, this Alabama team is really one of the best teams that school's ever seen. Their only loss to Iona, Rick Pitino led Iona, who is 8-2, by the way. Not a bad loss. It's not like,
Merge State.
yes, you're just out here. You're killing them. But, this is a team. Jaden Shackelford's got a lot of experience. Keanu Ellis, again, Javon Quinterly, who he's the transfer, right, from Villanova.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a really good basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Get this. Alabama and Auburn are the two highest ranked teams from the SEC in the AP poll.
How crazy is that?
Tennessee is third.
Who's fourth? Kentucky, I guess.
Probably. Arkansas is ranked.
When's conference play start? Let's get it started.
Let's go. I mean, this conference season is going to be one of the most competitive that we've seen in a long time. And that Alabama-Auburn game is going to really be something to watch.
Which one? I mean, surely they'll play twice, right?
They will. Obviously, the one in Tuscaloosa is when they will hand over the Foy Sportsmanship Trophy, which goes to the winner of the Iron Bowl. Yeah. So they hand them the trophy at halftime of the basketball game on the home campus of the winning team. That's going to be a big deal. But for the first time in a long time, football will take a back seat to two great basketball teams. And by the way, Tennessee's not bad either. Unless they're playing in New York, apparently. As long as they don't go to the NIT Final Four, they'll be all right. Can't play in the Garden, though.
Well, I think
terrible.
I don't think they're trying to go to the NIT.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know what Tennessee's going to have to do to get there. But if you are a Tennessee fan, you certainly don't want to lose to Alabama in basketball, too. It's like, can we have something? We got baseball now.
Baseball.
That's all we got.
Yeah.
So
we're a baseball school.
I'm just looking forward to this SEC season. It's going to be a lot of fun. This conference schedule and this conference slate is going to be really competitive. And I
think we're going to have some access to some people that can talk about it a little bit better than us.
We will, in fact.
So
and I'm excited about it.
Stay tuned.
No doubt. Stay tuned indeed. It is Reaction Monday, or has been Reaction Monday. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Thank you so much. Once again, Southern Middle Tennessee Sports Today is presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We are live in the Lee Company studio here. Tomorrow, we come back 4 o'clock on radio, WKOM 101.7 FM. Stick around for probably Hey Coach, I think, at 6 o'clock.
Alabama Rewind. Roll Tide Rewind, something like that. Crimson.
Whatever that is. Crimson Rewind. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, we appreciate you guys. For Mo Patton and JP Plant, I'm Chris Yao saying have a great day. Stay cool, Columbia.